For this project you'll need some outer fabric, some lining fabric, a zip, some pins, some chalk, a ruler, some fabric scissors and a sewing machine zipper foot. For my outer fabric I'll be using a slightly stiff poly cotton mix, and for my interior lining fabric a 100% cotton, which is slightly softer. When choosing your zip, bear in mind that it ought to be 1 inch longer than you'd like your finished bag to be. To start, lay your outer fabric face down and place your zip 1 inch over the edge of the fabric. Then decide how deep you'd like your bag to be. Mark your fabric with the chalk and cut out your first outer piece. Use the outer piece as a template to mark the next. This will make sure they're both the same shape and size, and also save a little bit of time. With your lining fabric face down, use one of your outer pieces as a template to create 2 new lining pieces in the same size. Now you should have 2 outer pieces and 2 lining pieces. Give them a quick press and then we'll get ready to start sewing. To attach the zip, take one of your outer pieces and lay it face up on the table. Then take a zip and lay it directly on the top of your piece of fabric in the centre and face down. The very top edge of your zip should line up with the very top edge of your fabric exactly. Then take your pins and neatly pin the zip along the top edge of your fabric, making sure that both edges are flush. To sew the zip, we'll be switching to a zipper foot. If you don't know how to use one of these, I've added a little link to a tutorial in the box below. Aligning your zipper foot with the bulk of the zip, sew down the length of the zip and remove pins as you go. This should leave you with a nice, neat seam. Now, place the assembled piece facing upwards with the right side of the fabric facing you. Then, place your first lining piece face down and align the top edge with the top of the zip again. And then pin into place. Sew down the entire length of the zip again, using the last line that we sewed to guide you. Remove pins as you go. Take your second outer piece and lay it face up. Then lay the assembled piece that you've just sewn face down, so that both outer pieces are facing each other. Again, make sure that the top of your zip lines up with the top of your fabric and then pin into place. Then once again sew down the entire length of the zip and remember to backstitch at the end to secure it in place. Your bag should now look like this, with 2 outer pieces neatly attached to the zip and only one side of the lining fabric so far. Now, flip it over so that the lining is facing face up, and then place a second lining piece face down on the top of it. For the final time, make sure that the fabric is lined up with the top of your zip, and then pin into place. And then sew down that line one last time. Almost done! Now we have to just remember to unzip our zip so that we can turn the whole project right side out again once we've finished sewing around the edges. Pin your outside pieces face to face by their corners. Remove the zipper foot and then reattach your regular sewing machine foot. Sew around all 3 sides and backstitch to secure it. Make sure to trap the ends of your zips in there too. Then, pin your lining pieces together face to face by their corners. Remember to leave about a 6-inch gap. We won't be sewing over this piece, so that we can turn the whole thing inside out later. Sew around the 3 sides of your lining pieces and remember to leave a gap. Snip the corners of both your lining and your outer pieces. Using the gap in your sewing that we made earlier, turn the entire project the right side out again. Remember to push out the corners either using your finger or a pencil. Finally, fold the raw edges of your lining in on themselves to create a neat seam. And then top stitch neatly with a matching thread. Then push the lining back in the right way again, flump it about a bit, and then you're finished. I've made loads of different types of these bags to carry my DS, to carry my headphones, to carry my phone, my tablet. It's really versatile and you can do it to any size that you like, it just depends on the size of the zip that you've got. As a little optional extra, I sometimes find that some of the bags I sew and some that I've had and bought before ruck up a bit on the inside and stop the zip from working. So if you just do a gentle top stitch around the whole circumference of the bag, it'll stop the zip getting stuck on the fabric on the inside and the outside.